Speaking with me now is Michael Hudson from Mawson-Resources. Michael, great to see you again.
Wonderful to be back. Thanks, Danielle.
So please, can you give us all the latest on your flagship Rajapalot project? A lot happening there, and you've been striking cobalt lately.
Cobalt on top of the gold, exactly. So we're just coming off a $5 million program. It's been very busy. We had up to 5 rigs. Lots and lots of drilling, of course, and those last few assays, last few thousand assays, I should say, are still coming through the system. So it's been a very active time. A lot of thinking and pulling together the data, and that's still ongoing. But what we can say, it was our most successful drill season to date. We had some fantastic results. As you mentioned, we found this cobalt association with the gold. Still a gold project very much, but the cobalt on average adds about 20% to the in-situ value of the rock mass as we understand it today, and it creates much more continuity. So it works very much technically, and then also perhaps politically as well, because it makes us a much more strategic resource for the country.
So a very large-scale program, lots of survey and drilling work there, very exciting results with that cobalt. Can you tell us how have all your work to date affected your targets moving forward? And I know the last time we spoke, we were talking about the mixed philosophy, balancing getting a maiden resource defined versus exploring because it is so large-scale. How are you striking the balance at the moment?
Yeah, it's always a fine balance, and there's a lot of people who want a resource, of course, and that's more the retail base that really would like to see a resource, and then perhaps our larger shareholders, and more than 60% of our stock is held by institutions and major gold companies, and they're less interested in a resource in the early stages and want us to continue to define a very large project systematically and diligently. So we've got to find that mix philosophically, but also technically. So we're still 50-50. Pulling together that data is very important before we know whether we're in a position to put a significant resource out. So I can't give you a guidance yes or no at the moment, but it's still very much an aim to pull it together. The cobalt will help very much so, and we've got great continuity. We've seen. I talked about a very successful program, but so it was not just grade, but we found new zones that we've been able to extend 500 meters down dip. We see geophysically they can continue down to 1 kilometer. So we've got continuity around grade. Some of the better results were over 30 meters, around 10 grams per ton gold equivalent. So nice widths also. So it's coming together very well, is what I should say. And then of course we continued to discover, but we can never be bulls in a china shop without putting together some monetization around it. So watch this space for the rest of the year is while we pull all that data together.
Very exciting news, Michael. You've got us on the edge of our seat. You did mention there you've got some great high-level backing. Earlier this year, Goldcorp said they were going to come on for a huge strategic investment. Tell us how that's gone and how you're positioned financially to continue all of this development work.
Well, the lifeblood of a junior is having money at least ongoing, if not in the bank. And we can say that we're financed for the next 2 drill seasons, this summer and next winter. We've got more than $10 million in the bank. We have that great support from a very, very strong shareholder base. Goldcorp came in February with 13%. We have a quarter of the stock held by a resource private equity group called Sentient. Another quarter of the company is owned by a number of endowment funds out of the US. So 60+% in the hands of the bigger end of town. So that validates very much the project, I think.
Really, it sounds like Mawson is in a terrific position at the moment, Michael. So tell us, what are the next key news flows that investors need to be keeping on top of?
Well, as I mentioned, we're pulling together the data from the last program. So watch that space there. We've already started again in the field for the summer program. We've got lots of geophysical surveys ongoing, magnetics, EM, and drilling will restart within the next month. That's, of course, base of till drilling, which we always conduct, and diamond drilling on some of the new targets that have been defined over the last 4 or 5 months with the geophysics, and following up from some of the drilling we had during winter. So lots more news flow, fully funded, well supported, and a very strong technical team in place.
Well, we're enjoying following the story of the development of Rajapalot, and we look forward to keeping you back in the studio regularly.
Thanks, Danielle.